The views and opinions expressed by the host do not necessarily state or reflect those of the company and its management. Furthermore, the views and opinions of the guest do not reflect those of the host, the show, the management, and the network.
Hearts that listen, think, learn, and connect. Only here at TLC.
Magandang gabi, Pilipinas! Nandito naman ang inyong mga gwapong
One.
HR Stewards, HR Alex Solano, HR Gerry Tubo, and yours truly, Coach Sisoy Kintanar. Welcome, mga Cubs!
Yes.
Yes, welcome everyone.
Una akong bumati, batiin ko yung family ko, no? They are having dinner right now, no? Si Coach Senas, si Janjan, Lulu, Gaby, Rafi, and si Sandy. Okay? Sa mga Cubs na nakikinig ngayon. Hey, Cubs!
Kapsay,
Okay.
kapsay.
Yes. Good evening, everyone, to our viewers and to our fellow Cubs out there, and also to my family, my wife Chin, and JK also.
Hi, GK! Cubs Jerry!
Yes, to the beautiful and great people of Visayas, Siquijor, Bohol, Cebu, Dumaguete, and Negros areas. So we greet you with healthy Monday, Women's Month celebration, month-long celebration. We we are offering you our thoughts for tonight so we can be of service to humanity in this
Yes.
forum of being stewards every Monday. So we thank you for listening us and we are hoping that you will partner us in this endeavor for developing more culture of being a messenger of hope and love as our team developed by Boss A. Good evening,
Yes.
everyone.
Yeah,
One,
yeah, yeah.
one month ago, nag-celebrate tayo ng Valentine's Day. March
Yes.
14 so it's about love and hope. So ngayon, no, ni-remind tayo, but again, ang ganda ng perspective because it's the perspective of our workplace. Before we start, I will invite everyone to please share your thoughts. Paki-share ng sa mga kasama ninyo itong link na to, no, para mas maraming matututo, no, na paano natin, no, magiging messenger of hope and love, especially in the workplace. Okay, yes, Cubs. Alex, bakit?
Yes. Kasi
Ang pinili mo.
as you could see in the social media, no, and even in the talks in all corners of the workplaces or companies, no, you can hear lots of news, no, lots of information. Some of these are verified and unverified, but you can observe that in the course of this conversation, many would not realize that it's already hurting others. Second, it also already affects uh, the well-being of their fellow workers. No, because
It also
there are
already
missing.
affects
There are already information, no, in the form of message that already within the boundary of the dignity, and sometimes it causes already uh, some problem in the working relationship of employees now. Because especially right now that we are on election period, and there are the pros and the cons of each preferred candidates. So sometimes it causes trouble and
Yeah.
arguments in some employees because they stand for these particular candidates, and other employees also would support these particular candidates. So that is why, in the context of the workplace, the message that we are to share, we are to receive, are very, very important on how we deal with that. Because instead of being a messenger of hope and love, we can become an information of destruction, division from among the employees. Kaya nga,
Yeah.
doon na isinilang si Marites.
Wow.
Marifor. Yes. What can you say, Cabs Jerry?
Yeah, that's a very uh, to some extent maraming na nadi-discriminate sa workplace, especially Women's Month pa naman ngayon. Tapos kaya nga mostly ang kina-campaign in my experience kasi andiyan na si election fever. Ibang fever to ngayon. Dati asymptomatic, ngayon election fever, it's another virus, no? Yung dating fever, it could be COVID. Now, it could be political color. So, ang point ko dyan, usually, sa HR side, naglalabas ako ng memo that let us remain apolitical because business is, it's not part of business now magiging partisan kasi mahirap. Una, it will cause distortion sa mga relationships. Ang worst ngayon, maraming nabubuli dyan. Kasi
Yes.
kung identified ka sa weak na candidate sa by virtue of perspective ng sinong dominante sa survey, so and it can kill the productivity side because it creates marites and more waste of time and energy and focus sa workplace.
Yes. Sige.
Yes.
Before, Cubs, batiin muna natin si Coach Loretta. Good evening daw. HR Stewards. And si Bro
Good
Ryan,
evening, Coach.
America. Oh, ito para sa atin. Oh, magandang evening po, mga poging coaches.
Wow!
Uy,
Oh,
thank you.
Salamat. Salamat
Thank you
naman at
sa lahat ng bagay. Yan ang inantay ko for the 10 years na ako. Ngayon pa ako
ayun.
nasabihan ng pugi.
Oh, kaya nga Cubs the feeling is mutual. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yes.
to continue, no, yun na nga, because a lot of noises are happening now. Ang daming ingay.
Yes.
To note lang, ang gasolina cups. Di ba ngayon?
Wow.
Di ba? So, ano yung
Nga.
message na isi-share mo? Di ba? Panic button, everybody is now, no? Instead of bringing hope and love, you become, sabi nga ni Caps Alex kanina, ano yung message na ikakonvey mo? Panic,
Yeah.
no? Panicking.
Yeah. Kaya mahirap ngayon in anywhere, lalo na because most people are attuned to the social media, lalo na mas lalala doon in the social media kasi andun ba si Putin, Andun pa yung mga victims, then plus the gasoline.
Yeah.
Now, ito pa yung partisanship ng mga politicians. Lalo pang lumala because na-drag pa yung mga people in the church,
Yes.
So kaya nga in every way, in either corner of the workplace or the company, so yun nga, parang saan na ba dito ang magagandang mga mensahe? Okay? So it may be good that we have surpassed now partially, I say partially, the 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 pandemic kasi right now it is being discussed that we might be going into alert level 0, They are now entertaining that idea na alert level 0. But at the same time, if you knew of the cases in Korea and in China, I think, baliktad doon ang nangyari. Nag-surge naman doon. Kaya nga, how would you connect that to the perspective and even the mindset of the people in the workplace. Parang gulong-gulo. Gulong-gulo talaga.
Yeah. And no, very important nga comes that we as stewards will be able to really lead and guide people to ano ba talaga yung totoong balita o yung mga fake or scam, di ba?
Yes.
Oo, ayun, forward lang, di naman inaalam kung reliable source ba yung ano nila, mga
Yeah,
nababasa
yeah.
nila.
Yeah. Kasi sa workplace situation kasi no, we do not discount pa yung mga personal problems natin coming from the family. Although as much as possible, we encourage everyone not to bring those concerns in the workplace because sometimes it gets into the working relationship. However, so ito yung task din natin, no? For each employee, not only to the leaders, no, not only to the stewards also, no, that each one of us should be sensitive enough to each, to their fellow workers because you know what, we do not know what one is carrying. So galing sila sa problema, they might have some personal problem, and they are affected also by the fact that, the gasoline is a domino effect. For now, hindi
Yeah.
lang yung sasakyan ang mapektuhan doon, but all other commodities will follow suit, no? Because of that effect. Now, yun nga, may iba naman na because of some a mix of many concerns na mainitin ang ulo. Doon nga, maraming na nag-aaway. Ano bang cause diyan? So, kasi sir, sinabi niya yung ganito sir, ganyan. Oh, ito na. So, iba yung sinabi din nila. Now, you know what? It really affects. And remember
Yeah.
that we are staying at least 8 hours in the office, in the company. And come to think of it, you are working. So you're not just staying there for nothing. And you are the burden, on one hand, the burden of your work. On the other hand, the pressure because of that
The
false
stress.
messages or wrong information that will cause distress.
Sabi nga ni Cos Loretta, di talaga tayo makampante. Tama, no?
Yeah.
Tama yung word niya. Para bang restless ka eh. Every now
Mm.
and then, no? May mga news no, pag ano, may notification dito sa ano mo,
Mm.
cellphone mo, kaagad, di ba?
Mm. You know what? I've been following up the situation in Ukraine. Parang after 3 to 5 days, parang wala na. Parang affected na rin ako. I must be honest with you na I don't know if you feel the same. Kaya nga, minsan, I skip na lang. I skip
So,
watching. Parang mabigat na seeing those people dying, even the kids, the children. No? And here comes the pressure also in the company for cost cutting because of the escalating fuel price. And ito na, plus the partisanship. Nagalit yung kasamahan ko kasi inatake si particular politician. Bumawi naman ganito sa text, sa Facebook. Then not to discount also the local politics also no na masyado na siya ganito ganyan. Parang ang gulo ng buhay.
sige. Cubs Jerry and Cubs Alex, no, it seemed that it's very clear that no, a lot of messaging is not the message that we want to hear. So as HR stewards, no, ano kaya yung ano ninyo? What you can give an insight to our viewers, no? Na ano yung how to become a messenger of hope and love ka na. Kaya yung mga anong pwedeng gawin right this moment na you are in no, in a dilemma or ano ba yan, quagmire, yung sinasabi nila, no? Very powerful words, no? But again, paano natin no, to become a messenger of hope and love? Comes
Sa
Jerry.
akin, sa akin, unang-una, yung sabi ko dati na dapat na nagkaroon na tayo ng vocational course diyan sa COVID na yan. The word essential.
Okay.
Today, because of the high price of commodities and oil, it must be nga yung travel, yung activities must be within the framework of what is essential. So sa mga leisure side, so because of face to face, ang company gagawa talaga ng activity na it could be a marketing approach or engaging employees in the workplace. So andyan pa rin si essential as a mindset na talagang dati nating topic is frugality.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Ngayon,
yeah. Frugal.
very active na topic na yan to show that there is message of hope kasi within our control man yung mga essential na activity. So,
Yeah.
we are encouraging some officers around, my employees na let's rally on the side on what is essential for economic sustenance and kung yung sabi nga ng isang nitibo, mag-supervive tayo. So, to supervive, thank you Lord, nag-supervive kami sa bagyo.
Yes.
Matindi yun ang
Yeah,
term, supervive.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Before si Caps Alex, batiin lang natin ng isang kasama natin, no? Si mabait, no, mabait. Si Caps Julius Carillo.
Wow!
Kasi po, I
Yes.
don't know, saan nagbabiyahe ito ngayon, ESO kanina eh, di ba? Parang Cagayan. Sabs, saan ka ngayon? Thank you, Caps, for watching, no?
Yeah,
And if you
kahit
have
saan na
some
lang yan.
ideas, Caps,
good,
mag-share ka.
good evening, Monsignor.
Oh. Sige,
Tabs
ayan.
Julius!
He's in the house. Yeah, padala ka ng
Wow!
tinapay. Padala ka ng tinapay.
So,
Yes,
next
Caps,
time,
Caps Alex.
okay. So, Tabs Julius, mag-guest ka naman dito next time.
Yes.
Okay.
Dapat.
So ganito yun, no? The point of our team ngayon is very, very important, no? Especially in our situation, not only economically, emotionally, and financially, no? Financially, especially financially. Because in as much as we are so concerned with our income and it's affected also by the increase of commodities, now, mahirap pa na to report for work with everything else is negative. No,
Yun.
and everything else is negative. Kaya nga, the challenge right now, minsan, kami sa office, no, sabi ko, magtawanan na lang kami, minsan, napabuntong hininga, parang looking empty things, no. So, tawanan ko. Really, life right now is very hard. Actually, life right now is very hard. And
Agree.
there's no debate to that, no? Kaya nga, ito na lang. So, what else can you give in the environment that you have except for the message of hope and love? So, how do we illustrate this, you know? So, first of all, when you hear some people in involved in any situation, personally or officially, so dapat do not put that person in bad light, no? Kasi yun ang paborito ni Marites. Agree? Yun ang paborito ni Marites. Kaya mas lalong napasama ang sitwasyon ng isang tao. So second, sometimes you make some joke out of the situation of others, no? And you are not so sensitive na it already affects his mental health status, no? So that is the thing that we should look into also, no?
Yeah.
Then of course,
Agree.
being a messenger of hope and love is not a noun. It's an action word. It's a verb. It's a verb, Cabs. So you can do many gestures of kindness to others in small ways, no? Then you can already become a living message of hope and love to others.
Yes, kasi yung paminsan-minsan, human as we are, may mga side comments tayo. May mga, kumbaga parang bullying,
Insensitive.
cyber
Yeah,
bullying,
insensitive.
kumbaga. Now, isolation, yun ang pinakamahirap na ma-experience sa COVID time. Ngayon naman, yung mga comments na ganun, lalo na sa workplace, it will create rejection, isolated ka pa rin. Mas lalo nga.
Yeah,
Kasi yung
yeah, yeah.
isolation, pinipreserve ka pa. Yung rejection, tinatapon ka na.
Yeah.
Matindi.
Tama.
Tapos yung moral ng tao, kaya nga usong-uso si engagement ngayon kasi hindi naman lahat mag-identify sa organisasyon, nawiwirla eh.
Yes.
And productivity counts. So kung ang tao
Yes.
ay low moral, ang self-esteem niya baba, paano siya mag-contribute?
Yeah.
Eh kung wala ding mag-guide na manager, mag-uplift ng, ano yung term ko? Mag-lift
Yeah.
up ng spirit.
Uplift, uplift,
Uplift.
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 Mag-uplift
Yeah.
ng spirit.
Upright. Upright.
May way
Yeah.
of
Mm.
encouragement. A simple encourage is to put courage. Yan ang sabi ni Father Friedman sa atin. No? Courage, courage,
Courage,
courage,
boys. Courage,
courage.
boys.
Oh.
Courage,
So,
boys.
to encourage is to put courage. So, marami mang lumural, wala ngang courage.
Yeah.
So, we as kung sino mang healthy mind ngayon at saka maganda yung paningin sa buhay,
Disposition nila. Yeah.
disposition, tulungan na
Yeah.
lang tayo. Kasi
Yes.
wala nga tayo sa gira, pero yung disposition natin depressed, hindi
Yeah.
kasama na rin tayo sa napunta sa gira.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yung
yeah,
emotional
yeah.
war, no? Yung mental war ngayon, grabe ang
Yes.
ano.
And do you think that the isolation has already stopped when the pandemic or when the cases of COVID-19 went down? Hindi pa. The isolation continues kasi yung iba hindi makatravel because of fuel price.
Tama,
Sabi
tama.
nila, sabi pa nga nila, akala ko dahil yung kuan daw, yung quarantine tapos na. Patuloy pa rin. Kung bakit? Kasi hindi pa rin ako makalis kasi mahal ng gasolina.
Oh, so,
That is a form of quarantine also. So because you cannot afford. So you're expecting that everything will go back to normal, but it's not. May iba na namang virus ang pumasok. And that's the
Yeah.
economic virus.
Yun.
yeah, tama. Kaya nga, very important
So,
talaga, no?
where can we find being a messenger of hope and love? So, kung lahat tayo may ginampanan na responsibility ngayon, we'll just love our work and that would be a message of hope to everyone. Kung lahat mag-love sa work, kahit anong work, we can be a message to everyone of hope. Kasi lahat magbigay ng what is good for the rest. So just
Yeah.
love your work and the rest will follow. How
Will
do we do
follow.
that?
Yeah.
Of course,
Agree on that.
kailangan natin ma-leadership yan. Stewardship pa rin.
Yeah. Agree on that.
Kaya nga, Cubs, ang ako rin, no, to reinforce what no, are you saying, Cubs Alex and Cubs Gerry. Para sa akin, because we are in the era of technology. So, ako rin, I want everybody to download an app. Di ba? Parang app to application to, no? Na called Messenger of Hope and Love. Dapat ito yung app mo, di ba?
Yeah,
Na pag may
yeah.
mga may mga nakirinig ka na diyan, mga taong no, parang na ano lang, no, parang iba yung nila, understanding or na iba ng daan, no, you will be there to to give the message of hope and love, no?
Yeah.
Yun yung ko
Agree,
dito.
yeah. Agree on that, Coach Sisoy, no? Because right now, I think no company would not say na let's save cost, di ba? So
Yes.
dapat magtipid tayo. Pero ano naman ginagawa yung iba, no? Nagagalit. Ito naman tayo ginigipit. Then other employees would also say na ano na bang nangyayari dito? Pati tayo apektado because well, sino bang nagpakain sa ating company naman? So I'm not trying to be one-sided in this case, no? Because actually, so whatever happens to the company, everyone gets affected, di ba? So yun na. What would you say in this crisis situation, being an employee, when your company also is struggling? So of course, you would say you would support your company. And if ever other people, especially, ano ba itong ginawa ng isang, natin, collector, parang palaging alis naman, no? Parang walang direksyon. So if you have no direction in your task, so better stay put na lang, just to conserve fuel. So we can be a reminder to one another. Then reminding for purpose of saving is also a message of hope and love
Yeah.
in favor of the company, which will also bring goodness and benefits to everyone. So,
Yeah.
yun din ang isang paraan din.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before tayo mag-break, no, basahin ko lang tong important message ni Cubs Julius. No? Sabi niya mga Cubs, yes, human as we are, the first reaction to COVID or typhoon is malas. Okay, ano yung Cubs, Gerry? Malas, sakit.
Yes,
So,
malas.
Ah,
HR is the linking verb. Wow! No,
wow.
linking verb. To remind us that the human is also divine. Wow. HR is there to remind us that we can use the eyes of faith to look COVID typhoon as our chance to get closer to God. Wow, Cubs,
Sabi,
murag nalipot akong balhibo.
sabi ko na. So,
Oh,
i-guess yan natin next time. Oh, ang
yes.
lalim pala ni Cubs Julius, oh. Cubs Julius, bumisita ka naman minsan dito. Thank you
Ibubook
for
na
that
natin
message,
to.
Cubs Julius, ha. It's very inspiring, no? So, actually, no, it's a kind of parang inspiration not only to the HR but also to the leaders, no?
Yes, yes,
Because,
totoo.
well, we might have surpassed now the parang the grip of the pandemic. Kaso lang, meron na namang sasakal natin. Ito namang
Mm.
ekonomiya natin, no?
Sige. We
So,
will talk
yun.
about that more, no? When we, post for break muna for our reminders of our sponsors.
Okay.
Halina't magkape at kausapin ng Panginoon everyday.
Okay. Sana yung mga kasama ko.
Oh,
Yan. So si Cubs A, wala pa.
Caps A. Andyan, coming.
Ayan. So, yeah, I would like to comment
Caps.
doon sa sinabi ni Cubs Julius, Cubs Jer, na maganda yung word na ginamit na eh. Link. No? Yung link na word kasi, di ba, pinag-usapan natin is messenger. So, no, we have to be the link. No? Link doon sa sa messaging natin doon sa mga natin, mga tao. And maganda sinabi ni Cubs Alex kanina, yun na nga, as leaders, baka ikaw rin nawalan ka na ng pag-asa.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. So, mahirap no pag ang leadership ang nawala ng ng pag-asa at pag sa hope and love. So, pag ganyan Cubs, sino mag-encourage sa iyo?
Yun nga. Kaya Cubs, Gerry and Cubs Sisoy, no, sa usaping ito, no, it is a very important to identify the elements. So, the messenger, the message, and the receiver. No?
Wow, sige.
So,
So,
ito
tatlo ha?
ito,
Ano yung
no,
Cubs? Sige, ulitin natin
messenger,
Cubs.
the
The
messenger, the message, and the
message.
receiver. Itong
Okay.
tatlo.
Yes, go.
These are very, very critical elements, no? Na if they are not properly put in the proper perspective. So, ikaw naman, ikaw naman ang giver ng message or messenger. So, ano naman ang mga pinagkaabalahan mo na information? Because you cannot give what you do not have, di ba? So, it is very important na yung mga message mo din as leader ka, or even not as leader but regular employee lang, no? You can affect others, no? So, how do you reinforce naman yung message na dala-dala mo? So, siyempre, kung pupunta ka sa mga chismosa, so what else do you expect? kung magbabasa ka naman ng Bible, of course, you are getting more inspiration.
Yes.
If you listen also to mga inspired na mga tao who can give you better information, then what else you can give to others if not those things? So, yun. Then another thing na also na we will consider is yung receiver. So, what is the disposition of the receiver? Umiiyak siya. So, malalim ang tinatanaw niya. No? Malayo ang tingin, wala namang
Ang
tinatanaw.
tinatanaw.
Tinatanaw. O, kapansin-pansin ang kilos at galaw. O, see?
Kantahin mo na,
So,
Kams. Kantahin mo na.
yun lang ako. Sinabi ko na lang yan, wag ko nang kantahin. So, yun nga, it's very critical. So, because there, papasok yung sensitivity natin. Sensitivity natin. Because no matter how good is your message, if the receiver also is not in the proper position, in proper disposition, so magiging waste yun. No? So those are the things that we should, because you cannot give what you do not have. The sources of your messages must be coming from better sources naman. So that's it, Kag Gerry.
So sa kasi na workplace is ang understanding natin dito is more on the business work side, no? So kaya nga it's a challenge because sa structure ng business, kung pwede lang ma-consider na may mga customers kasi ang pinag-usapan sa business. Ngayon pa lang kung pwede ma-adjust na yung unang example, may mga template na yung mga obligation and contract side sa customers. Kung pwede, may mga options na ma-develop ngayon in response to the inflationary side sa tumataas na lahat. To show that message of hope and love. Kasi puro na lang embargo, puro na lang garnishment, puro na lang. And everybody is confronted with this scenario.
Sige lang study. No? Sabi mama, study. Study.
Ngayon nga, kinonfront ako ng baby girl ko na gusto na niya magtrabaho kasi iba din yung pag-iisip nila. The way they look at, kasi alive sila dyan sa mga social media. Parang the way they look at, kumbaga, because marami naman talagang nag-o-open ng hiring ngayon.
Yes.
Very attractive and they do not know na may long-term impact yan kasi pag nadali ka sa ayaw mo nang mag-eskwela kasi may pera na ngayon, ba't ka pa mag-sacrifice sa school, that's another aspect na mabibira, mai-influence yung mga anak natin. Pero that's sa family side. Sa workplace naman, ang daming temptation na mag-waste ng resources at time ngayon. So this is a challenge, how to be a message of hope and love to everyone. So to customers. So paano tayo ang smile wala namang bayad yan. Ang greetings wala namang bayad yan. Yung simple kumusta. Yung mga well-being approaches na within our control. Balik tayo doon sa mga within our control. Ito yung magpapagaan sa buhay na possibly magiging stiff na yung competition to the extent parang wala nang smile na mangyari or wala ka nang mapakinggan sa workplace. Lahat pressure.
Yeah. So
malaking adjustment to ngayon. Challenge nga.
Before mag-comment si Sir Alex, basahin ko lang din kasi murang ako'y napansin ba? Mga voice natin. Si Cubs PJ. Okay. Good evening, mga Cubs. Full dyan. Mga bikiri to, bikiri boys.
Wow. Sample.
PJ is why, no? Ano yan? Is why is collier.
All dyan.
Si Cubs, si Coach Joel, as a leader of the flock, you are the messenger and the good listener. Must be attentive, sensitive to the needs of the flock. A missing link connector. Wow, ang ganda. Kita mo.
Kinonfirm niya, no? Kinonfirm niya.
Amen.
Yeah. So exactly, Cubs, no? You see the parang triumvirate, no? triumvirate of the messenger, the
The
message,
message
and the
and the
receiver.
receiver.
So
Yeah.
yun.
Stewards.
Yeah. Kasi parang what's the purpose pa of reporting for work na lahat doon na makita mo kadiliman, no?
Yeah.
Walang life. So, and in fact, you are paid for 8 hours. So ano bang ginagawa mo doon as leader? Even as a normal, a regular employee. So, how do you bring that message of hope and love? So yun ang pinaka-challenge doon. And even if you do not do something on it, no, magpapadala ka rin sa bugso ng mga negative information, no? So you are also affecting others. You create more a worse environment ba? Lalong didilim na 'yon. So
Yes.
kaya nga we can still do something because we are not like animals no na we are quite hopeless. But even the animals will always find way to survive. And how much more for us na binigyan tayo ng talent ng Panginoon in order for us to go beyond realities in life.
So, ngayon, ang nag-cause nito is yung gira.
Yeah.
Pero lahat tayo ngayon nasa sitwasyon na parang gira. Kumbaga, lahat ngayon dapat nasa sa strategic review.
Yeah.
Kasi ang message of hope is makikita sa mga leader ngayon paano magkakaroon ng options, paano mag-survive. So instead of mag-marites too much or I'm sorry for the word, ang dami pa namang marites na pangalan, no? So yung instead of masway tayo doon sa negativity, can we not band together? So yun ang challenge sa workplace na mapunta doon sa ano bang mga possible remedy. So as HR steward, HR can draw some lines of how to go about it. And employees must also pay tribute to this kind of adversities. No? So
Kasi
yun
ang
ang kaya nga
tingin ko,
challenge.
ang
Challenge to.
ang
Kasi hindi pa
ang,
present.
ang ano ko dito comes to picture it out para bang lahat tayo merong baril. Di ba?
Yes.
Kasi war, so be careful how you use your baril kasi baka, di ba? You can inflict no harm to other people. No, so be careful of your bullets. No?
So
Be
let's
careful of your
inspire.
bullets. Oo.
Paano tayo maging inspirational
Yeah.
to
So
show love, to show hope? Paano tayo, ano ba yan? Medyo yung malasakit.
Yeah.
malas
Yeah.
at sakit.
Paano?
Malas. Yeah. Yun nga, nakita ko na si Coach
Yun ang
Sisoy na
challenge.
parang yung nakita ko na si Coach Sisoy, he is making an analogy with baril, no? So, parang inspired si Coach Sisoy sa Ukraine, no? Dahil
Kasi, di ba?
I would rather
Mm.
I would rather use flowers.
Wow.
Sisoy, no? I would rather
Okay.
use flowers, no? Ito, rosas sa'yo. Sa'yo naman, tinig.
Yung spirituality, Gabs, mabigat yun.
Yeah.
Spirituality in the workplace, mabigat yun. To counter the negativity ngayon. Kaya wala naman tayo. Everyday, pag nagbaba ako, ang daming nakaparada sa gasoline station sa baba. Iwan ko, bakit dyan sila? Siguro, mas mura.
Yeah, kasi ang ginamit na mga yung fuel supply is yung old pa na kuhan. And
Old stock,
kaya
old
nga,
stock.
mabait yung ibang kuhan caps Gerry, no? Yung old stock pa ginamit nila. And they declare that particular price. Kaya mababa
But
sila.
tomorrow yata, tomorrow is,
yeah.
Mayroon na namang, no, price.
Yan.
Another wave.
Si
wave.
Martes. Hindi na Marites. Si Martes. Every Martes, mag-increase. Delikado talaga yan si Martes.
Yeah, yan ang mahirap dito.
So, anong
May
alternative
quotation
dito,
ako,
Gabs?
Gabs. May quotation ako na galing sa mga owners na dati kong work na kung maliit ang kumot, marunong
Matiis na magbaluktot. Oo.
Maganda din yun. Pinoy, Pinoy style, Pinoy culture yan.
Oo. Pero ako, Gabs, meron akong analogy din yan. No? Kasi minsan yun na nga eh, we have this mindset na magtiis. 'Di ba? So meaning to say, ang ano kasi natin messaging dito is be the messenger of hope. 'Di ba? So if you see people na namaluktot, huwag naman nating, tiis ka lang diyan. 'Di ba? Be an inspiration na yeah, magtiis tayo, but again, no, we have to do something naman. No, we have to do
Explain the
something.
value. We will
Oo.
explain the value
Mm.
for you
So,
to sustain the long travel.
yeah. Yun nga, even the Department of Energy, no, I think you have read my FB post, no, that they
Ayun,
are
yung
even
mga
promoting some
diskarte
tips.
do, no?
Yeah, promoting some tips, no, how to conserve fuel if you are an
Yep.
assignee of particular vehicle or unit. So yun na. So how much more if you are a working person, no, if you want to help the company and if you own a company issued
Okay,
vehicle.
tama din
So
yan, Caps.
yeah,
Kasi
yeah.
sa workplace,
Mm.
hahayaan lang yung aircon kahit walang tao.
Yun ang mahirap doon.
Hahayaan lang yung kung
Ilaw.
pwede,
Yung ilaw,
yung,
naka-on lang.
yung mga elevator, i-reserve yun sa may mga arthritis.
Oo.
Katulad ko.
Oo, yun, within pag-comes to, just to ano lang, preempt, no, tomorrow yan ang topic namin ni Coach Senas, no, yung family tips, how to really, ano, no, especially sa family ngayon, mga saving tips, no, kahit na maliit na bagay, no, may tulong lang, may ambag.
Oh, that's a prelude to Lean Six Sigma na mga approaches. Di ba?
Wow, galing, ha?
Oh,
Mga
so, yeah,
trimming of mga unnecessary or non-value adding na mga activities or processes.
Yeah.
Magaling diyan si Cubs Wano
yeah,
Yeah,
in
oo.
Vicky team.
correct.
Oo.
Yeah, yeah.
And going back sa ano, kasi alam ko ngayon, ang mga tao kasi naging short-tempered, no? No,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
so, kaunting ano lang, no? Kaunting irritation lang, wala na. So,
Isang saglit lang.
oo. Parang
So,
posporo.
so actually makikita mo ang impact nitong fuel price hike, no? During Saturdays, Fridays. When you look at yung papuntang Samal ay Igacos, Island
Yun,
Garden City of Samal. So long before, no, you can
shorter na.
see that the difference aabot hanggang saan pero
Dati
nang
the longest line yung activity
yeah,
nila.
ngayon akala
The
ko parang
shortest
hindi
na.
na uso ang longest line. So minimalist na ngayon, no?
Parang
So konti lang.
bumabawi ngayon si Lancia.
Wala nang naglilinya doon, nagla-line up, no, to go to the other island
Oo.
for beach, no. So parang apektado lahat talaga, no. Siyempre yung mga bata. So papa, daddy, mommy, no, we'll be going out. It's been a long while. So, nak, we cannot afford anymore. So our food is more important than luxury
Yeah.
or yung leisure. Okay?
Yes.
So yun ang impact doon din. Because of that, especially right now na yung face-to-face, sisimula na. So have you heard of that, Cubs Gerry and Cubs Sisoy? So
Yes.
yun
Yes.
na. So because of that, so students will be now incurring expenses,
May
Yes.
fares, di ba?
expenses.
Baon.
Humihingi na ng baon.
Oh, yeah.
Baon.
So baon na naman.
Hatid sundo na naman tayo nito.
So, unlike before, so parang all in sa bahay, ang baon do. Pagkain, andoon. All in siya
Ang
sa bahay
kantin,
ba?
nandoon lang sa ref.
Oo. So pwede na isahin na lahat. So sige, kumain ka ng agahan, no? So wag ka nang magbili doon, malapit ng tanghalian. So parang shortcut na lahat pag pinag-isa. But this time, during face-to-face, you cannot do that. So you have to allocate talaga, no? Separate budget for that. And that is already an added expense for the family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Malaking challenge talaga, no, na hinaharap ngayon. Really calls for ano talaga, stewardship.
Yeah.
Stewardship
Yeah.
is really important.
So, napakalaki ng training cost. Parang yung direction to train people, to remind, to educate.
Yeah.
Kasi
Agree.
another set of skills yung pagiging cost management, cost efficient. Yung planning, matindi dyan. Yung mga processes, yung mga process review. So, maraming intervention na sa HR steward naman, Kasi hindi, sa iba, madali lang sabihin na, oh, mag-ano ka, cost cutting ka. Pero saan ba dyan? Kasi kailangan nila ng mga planning tools, yung mga analytical tools,
Technical
kung
tools.
paano nila i-analyze ang situation. So that requires medyo leadership or management skills na paano yan. So ngayon, sa HR stewards naman, yan, mag-isip-isip tayo ng ano bang program na maka-enhance sa mga tao para makita nila yung hope na
And
pwede pa
love.
pala ganito. Kasi structured
Yes.
yan. Ituturo pa rin yan. So, kumbaga, napunta tayo balik sa stewardship na may learning program para dyan for
Kasi,
people na masilip nila yung they are taken care of at makuha nila yung pag-asa na buhay pa tong negosyong ito. Yung posisyon ko pwede pa.
and because comes to add, no, very powerful yung sinabi mo na because the matrix is really focusing tilted on financial, di ba? So the learning and growth part and the customer is na minsan nawawala sa equation. Kaya no, Coach Gerry is really emphasizing to really no, be deliberate and intentional na huwag pabayaan yung yung stewardship role natin as messengers of hope and love through training and development of people. No?
Kasi yung
Mas
customer,
kailangan ngayon, Caps, mas kailangan ngayon actually.
pag
This
hindi
moment.
train
Kasi,
yung staff, sabihin man niya, isauli mo na lang ma'am, isauli mo na lang sir. So
yeah.
mawawala yung continuity of business. Pero
Oo.
kung train yung tao, ito yan, pwede yung ganito. May mga options na available na ma-educate niya si customer paano niya mahabol yung continuity of the plan.
Yes,
O di,
totoo.
yung
Eh,
pagiging messenger of hope, it
yeah.
translates to good
Yeah.
customer service pa rin.
Caps, to add,
Business pa rin.
the more ngayon na dapat, those are the skills na dapat
Yes.
ituro natin kasi mawawala yung customer. Ano
Yes.
yung mangyari sa negosyo mo?
Yes.
Magtaka ka na lang. Di ba? Na
Kasi
lumipat na yung...
ang ano ba yung Cubs Alex yung common? Ikakat. Ang ikakat, yun pa namang crucial. Training. What mo
Yes,
ikat
automatic.
yan? Survival comes from that approach.
Oo. Caps, before mag-comment si Caps Alex na before siya mag-on sa ano niya kasi hindi siya naka-on. Basahin ko tong ano ni Caps Joel, no? Thank you, Ate Helen Arroyo, for watching from Pasig City, Metro Manila. Wow, Ate
Wow.
Helen.
Wow.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Umabot pala tayo doon.
Yes.
Caps, meron kang kinukwento kanina, hindi nakalating yung message mo sa receiver.
Yeah. Yeah, yun nga kasi based on the conventional practice, no, pag magipit tayo, so the more that we cut the cost for training. So, yun nga, karamihan, so everything gets affected. So, the customers, even at the worst, yung productivity. Kasi, when the situation becomes tough, so the more that you should strengthen, no, the mindset of your people na nagigipit pa tayo, ginigipit pa yung training, so wala ka nang nabigay to strengthen their minds and their hearts. So what do you expect? So it runs across the whole business cycle. Even the productivity will be affected already. So in a way, they say it's a cost, it's an expense when you indulge in training, but there are several ways naman to do that, no? There are several ways. Because
Coaching.
the key here
Yung
talaga
secret.
is at the height of the crisis, the more that you are needed by your people, the more that their hearts, their minds are thirsty, no?
Yeah.
For inspiring words. Yung ganun,
Yeah.
dapat
And
we should
there's a very good program na ginagawa no ng mga successful companies right now in which we are also advocating yung values Caps. 'Di ba?
Yes,
Yung values
yeah.
kasi the more nga ngayon ang mga tao kailangan nila ng tulong. Kailangan nila
Yeah.
ng tulong. So values talaga is very important, no? Especially no, and now na itong pinag-usapan natin that we need hope and love. So, yun.
Okay. So, yun na, Katsuno, na sa ngayon, when you want to sustain the business, especially if you talk on productivity, so you should invest more on the in strengthening the people's perspective. So by communicating to them, kasi without communicating to them, and you just leave them at that when they are faced with various situations, economics, politics, no, and not to exclude also the personal family problems. No, you would not notice, no, bakit mababa ang sales natin? So bakit mahina ang production natin? Because the people are not inspired. So you're not dealing with robots, you're dealing with people with hearts and minds.
Yeah. To the stewards around, people will always look up you.
Yeah.
Naghihingi sila ng model. O napakinggan ko nga si Zelensky nagkumanta ng My Endless Love. Oh,
My
Wow.
life,
my
there's
love.
only you in
No,
my
my
life.
life.
So, ang iba lang yung training nila ngayon, barilan. Pero
Yeah.
training pa
Yeah.
rin. Kasi hindi na hindi maiwasan. So, ngayon kung sila nga nakapagbigay pa ng hope, nakapagbigay pa ng attention for may mga charisma pa na ganun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yun, pinapakita na there is still hope. Meron pang pag-asa nga. Kay, of course, leadership is there, stewardship
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah.
So,
Agree on that.
like this
Agree on
talk
that. Yeah.
tonight, it can somehow, it can spark
Yeah.
in darkness, pag kahit aninipot yan, nakakabigay pa rin yan ng liwanag.
Ano ba
Yeah.
yung English ng aninipot cubs?
Firefly.
Firefly?
Uh,
Yeah, firefly. Yeah.
Pero alitap-tap ba yan?
yes,
Yeah.
alitap-tap sa Tagalog. Oo.
Tingnan mo yung Tagalog ko.
Oo. Diba?
Tap-tap. No?
Pero yun na nga, no? We are really challenged that everyone to be the bearer of hope and love. So, para bang you bring light, no? Mag-contribute
Yeah.
ka ng ilaw, no? Para magliwanag naman yung buhay.
Yeah.
Kasi disposition to. Ang
Yes.
pag
Yes.
naibigay within our control.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So, something inside us na pwede natin ipaglaban na hindi tayo masway.
Mm.
Ang ganda ng music. That's a music of love.
Yeah.
Yeah, ay
That's a
tumawag
good
sa
sense.
akin. Ay tumawag sa akin. So, yun na nga. No?
Ah,
Yun.
yeah.
Kasi dito, Kabs, so, ang isang analogy ko rin, no, before tayo magbigay ng natin ngayon, ng mga individual messages. Yun ang the concept of being a candle. Di ba? Light tayo eh. So, magbigay tayo ng liwanag sa ibang tao. And along the way, no, parang yun na nga, parang bang, sa Bisaya pa na maupos ka. Di ba? Because you are giving something, but do not forget that you give light to other people. Nakabigay tayo ng ilaw, no, sa mga natin, sa mga kapwa-tao natin. And that's the most important thing.
Yes. Yes. Agree on that, Cubs Sisoy, no, and Cubs Gerry. Kasi sa gayon, so, yun na, pinaligiran na tayo ng mga negative information. So it's not only the information that is negative, even the real situation is negative na.
Yeah.
So kaya nga, when I go to the office as much as possible, oh hi, hello, how are you? Yun nga, smile right now is luxury na. Yung smile mo lang, mahal na masyado na yan this
Tama.
time around kasi mahirap mag-smile when you're faced with this kind of situation. No? You're bombarded with several negativities brought about by the politics, the Ukraine, Russia, the war, and
Yung
then
anxiety.
Yeah.
yes. Kaya nga, you would not know kung ano ba yung disposition ng kaibigan mo, ano ba yung disposition ng coworker mo.
Ang
Kaya
una,
nga,
ang pinoproblema, ungo lang, ungo.
ano yan,
May
Caps?
ungo, may abat.
Yun. Ano yan? Okay. Yeah.
Oo.
So
Ngayon,
ngayon,
Cubs.
dami yan.
Ang mga abat ngayon, yung mga abat ngayon, hindi na natakot ng cruise, saka ang mga holy water. Kinatakutan ngayon nila yung donation box.
Oh.
Pakita mo ng donation box, magtakbo yan.
Yeah.
Anyway, yun na nga, no? Ang ganda ng natin, no? Balitaktakan.
Messenger.
Oh,
Go to
Tagalog ko,
the
kasi
messenger.
balitaktakan. Oh.
Mm.
Bagong vocabulary ko yan, Kabs, sir. Anyway, so no, before tayo mag-end, I would like to hear you guys, no? Ano kayo yung mga parting words niyo before we end, no? With our engagement tonight.
So
Kabs,
to
Jer?
me,
Hmm.
it's a challenge on how to be a messenger because it's very tempting to comment on, to say something bad. Very tempting because we enjoy giving comments. We enjoy yung masaya tayo sa situation ng iba. But it's a
Makisaw-saw.
realization.
Kabs,
It's a
Gerry,
realization.
makisaw-saw.
Makisaw-saw. So it's a challenge na to do away with that temptation. Instead give hope and some positive notes as much as possible. So ngayon napunta tayo sa think, napunta tayo sa learn, and of
And
course
connect.
show some connection through care, through messaging, love, and hope to everyone through this
Wow.
Thank
forum.
you, Kabs,
Galing.
Gerry, no?
Galing. Galing na. So what else I can add to that? Caps Jerry, parang lahat andun na. Lahat andun na. So sa sitwasyon natin no, ngayon, so let us be the light, so the hope, the love. So yun lang, no? Because we can transcend with this situation because we are given the talent, we are given the opportunity by God, no? Because God Himself is a symbol of hope. No, He's dying on the cross, gives us inspiration on that in the midst of these difficulties, so there's a light at the end of that tunnel. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. So thank you, Kabs Alex, and thank you, Kabs Jerry. And we would like to thank our viewers, no, for always, no, alam namin na nandyan lang kayo, nakikinig, no, and nag-review dito after our episode. And no, we will really encourage you na bigyan natin ng buhay, no, ang mga sinishare namin dito because this is what God wants us to experience, no, to be the messenger of hope and love. Okay, so thank you very much, Cubs Jerry and Cubs Alex. So, kanan, sabi nga ni Cubs Jerry, ano yung Cubs? Talk, learn,
Think,
think, okay, learn and connect. God bless us all.
good night,
Good
everyone.
night.
Right?
Okay.
Stay safe.